Greetings once again, wizards. Duuz-Diz-Din, back again with Fairy Tale, the 100 Years Quest. Last time, the members of Fairy Tale have taken up arms against Gold Owl to save their friend, restoring the magic of Wendy so that they may purge Gold Owl of the influence of Varnes, the gold dragon god. But alchemy is some tricky business. Going up against the humanoid doll, Ganai and Kotetsu, Lucy's celestial spirits have a tough time. And when Ganai summons Sai, who Gray has dealt with before, Sai this time uses Rival Bond that switches you with someone. Oddly enough, I don't know why you'd use this technique. Someone you dislike or someone who dislikes you who is strong. This causes Gray and Natsu to swap bodies, and even more oddly enough, Lucy and Brandish to swap bodies. Gotta hope that Brandish wasn't in the middle of something important. And while yes, being in the body of someone whose magic you're not very compatible with might be a little bit off-putting, these rivals don't hate their rivals as much as you would think. So will that be a positive? Or do the negatives outweigh anything of the sort? Join me as I find out, won't you? Alright, Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, Chapter 141, Opposite Battle. And a cute image of Brandish with Kit. Honestly, Brandish's one appearance that we got over the course of this series did have me thinking that she was going to be a little bit more involved with this whole entire mission, as it were. Or at least be in one of the story arcs, but not really. Alright, we pick up in the town of Dunsa, in eastern Gultina. Two men with a magazine and camera say, "We're journalists from Monthly Wizard magazine." "You're a wizard, aren't you, miss? That's wonderful. Want a model for our magazine?" Brandish says apathetically, "What a pain. But my travel funds are running low." One of the men says, "We'll compensate you, of course." And Brandish strikes a series of titillating poses. The cameraman says, "Miss, do you always wear those bikini-type clothes?" The man in the suit says, "In that case, would you mind wearing a bolder outfit?" "Bolder than that? Geez. Oh, let me guess." Then she turns into Lucy. So just as Brandish starts to get a little annoyed saying, "Excuse me?" she turns into Lucy, much to the shock of the two men present. And while Brandish is completely taken off guard at first, as she examines herself, she realizes, why'd I turn into Lucy? Of course, she goes to grope into titties. Brandish then smirks, and then starts to remove her clothes, saying, "I'll wear any costume you want, even though it's a hassle." Brandish, why you gotta be like this? Meanwhile, back in the hellscape created by Gold Owl, Lucy looks at herself in Brandish's body saying, "I turned into Brandish," while Gray in Natsu's body says, "You know her powers. Get 'em, Lucy." Lucy says, "I can't. I have holder-based powers, and she has ability-based powers. We're not compatible at all." Ganai says, "I really don't understand, but it seems we were successful." Sai says with a smile, "Looks like they both turned into incompatible people." Kotetsu states, "So we just need to dispose of them then." Gray says, "Damn it, in that case, I think it goes like this." He lights up his fist saying, "Fire dragons?" Ooh, but the intensity of the heat sears at Gray's skin as he shouts, "Ha! No, this is Natsu's body. He should be able to take the heat. He even eats fire." That is actually a good point. Unless Natsu feels the intensity of the flames every time he lights his hand ablaze, which, if so, damn. Ganai then takes out his pipe and rips a big old bong. Tough. Using smoke alchemy, while Kotetsu, who, man, this is one of those moments where we really could use Gajeel. He brings out his sword using steel alchemy, and they both combine their abilities using combined alchemy, blind iron sickles. And as smoke surrounds Gray and Lucy, something appears out of the smoke. Yeah. Well, iron sickles. In fact, iron sickles come falling down, swiping at Gray and Lucy. They both barely manage to dodge. You know, it's weird to see smoke used so effectively when we were introduced to that kind of stuff with Wakaba so long ago. But much like Macau, when you would compare him to Natsu, Of course, Wakaba can't really compare with Ganai. Poor Wakaba. Lucy crawls away from the blade, saying, "Oh no, this is bad. Open, gate of the golden bovine." But as she reaches for her keys, she comes to a shocking realization, which, yeah. And she shouts, "I don't have my keys." Gray thinks to himself, while our vision is obstructed by the smoke, the steel sickles attack us. He then thinks, steel? Natsu's body? Is he gonna melt it? That's the only thing I can think of, because there's no way he'd try to eat it, would he? Oh, okay, he did go for the melt it. Gray takes one of the sickles head on, saying, "It won't be hurt by them, right?" And the sickle just melts on contact, which, yeah, we've seen how intense Natsu's body heat has become because of all of his training. It's insane. I'm actually glad that we've consistently kept up with that fact. Gray says, "I knew it. The steel's melting. He's a beast." He then thinks to himself, "That only happened before because I got into my head that the flames were too hot." He shouts out, "I should be able to use his fire. And Lucy, you should be able to use Brandish's magic too." Lucy thinks to herself, Brandish's magic. That's right. She can make anything bigger or smaller. And there was that Pass guy. No, he doesn't matter. That one weirdo who served under Brandish who really didn't matter in the long run, did he? Didn't he try to, betray Brandish too? Yeah, I thought that guy was gonna be cool when we were first introduced to him, but it was kind of a tool. Lucy then thinks of all her encounters with Brandish, thinking, if I'm remembering right, it's like this. He then starts to use Brandish's abilities using Command T, expansion. Whoa! And now there is a giant Brandish, with Gray looking directly at her crotch. Lucy shrieks. Ganai says, "What?" While Kotetsu questions, "She grew?" Gray says, "The smoke cleared, and I'm finally used to Natsu's body now, too." He then uses Fire Make Flame Hammer, and just consumes Ganai, Kotetsu, and Sai with fire. See, that's the thing. I will admit, Sai's abilities, they're pretty cool. If he doesn't use something stupid, like put you in the body of someone powerful. Like, would he just up and turn Gray and the others into gems and they couldn't do anything? Bam, done. Gray calls out, "Lucy!" And while Lucy's freaking out saying, "I can't," Gray calls out from, Lucy's crotch saying, "Use your size. You're a giant. Just hit him." And as Lucy busts through the ceiling of the area they're in, towering above Ganai, Kotetsu, and Sai, who immediately freak out of the giant woman. "All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman, a giant woman." And Lucy delivers a cataclysmic punch. Just BAM! See, honestly, I still feel like if we had never saw Sai change Gray and the others into gems, it would have never felt like this was completely avoidable. It was. You could have just not brought out Sai and his friggin' gimmicky abilities. Meanwhile, over with Natsu, who, is still in pitch combat with Athena too. He's still trying to figure things out, trying to use fire dragons. No, ice dragons? Who the heck even is that? There ain't one, which is kind of sad. I don't think we've ever seen an ice dragon. Bummer. Natsu then proceeds to throw up chunks of ice, saying, "Ice chunks are coming out of my mouth. It's cold." Athena 2 says, "Master Duke." And Duke Boroboro says, "Just do it." Natsu then realizes, I just gotta fight as Gray. So just as Athena 2 starts to move in on Natsu, Natsu says, "It's like this, right? Ice make?" Ice punch. As a giant ball of ice just surrounds his fist. Just ice upper. And as Athena skids back but holds her ground, Natsu turns back into Natsu, which is unfortunate. I would have loved to see him unleash a few more attacks as Gray, but Natsu excitedly says, "I'm back to normal." Meanwhile, as Ganai and Kotetsu are in a big old steaming crater, Gray turns back to normal as well, as he says, "We're back to normal, Lucy." He then sees, oh god, what Lucy is wearing. Wow, jeez. Of course, anything to get Lucy in a skimpy outfit. Lucy is dressed like a bikini cat maid, and she questions, much to her bewilderment, Why am I dressed like this? Meanwhile, Brandish is nonplussed, saying, "Aw, I'm back to normal," while the men she was with are gawking over the photos they got. Couldn't go without getting Lucy in something skimpy. Although, I will admit, the angles we got on Brandish were enough cheesecake to last for a week. But man, I don't too much care about Psy because, he's yesterday's news. But if Ganai and Katetsu were taken down by that, come on, guys, come on. I feel like we were only just really getting started with their fight, and they felt like they were intimidating. But if that's all it took to take them down, boo. To be taken down by something they essentially unleashed? Like, come on, guys. I would have much preferred to see Gray and Lucy whip out a new technique or something. Part of me feels like I can't complain too much because technically that would have been a win for Lucy, but at the same time it wasn't a win for her ability. And I really like the Lucy's ability. Like, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I don't know if I'd really be satisfied with this being the conclusion of this fight. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you be okay with this being the conclusion of the fight? I mean, sexy cat girl Lucy? Now, I will admit I would have loved to see Brandish in a sexy Catgirl maid outfit, but that's just because, I don't know, even the Lucy cheesecake has kind of gotten a little old. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little too critical. I just feel like Lucy doesn't get enough nice things, and my cup has kind of run over on bad things I want to happen to Lucy. I don't know if I phrased that right. Well, again, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.